All right, friends, here we go again. Yes, we're talking about the virus. It's not even the virus of the week. It's the virus of the day. The virus of the day is Ebola. Ding, 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 ding. Let me know if you had that on your PSYOP bingo card. You probably did. Well, the quick story is that the current Ebola outbreak is once again in the Congo, and Uganda is also reporting cases. And apparently, this is caused by the Bundi Bugyao Ebola virus. I'm sure I pronounced it correctly. I tell you, we are going to be looking at. So, I got a slideshow for you that I am going to go through. We're going to be looking at the colors. We're going to be looking at the names. And I want you, well, actually, I think I'll do a bonus video for you tomorrow. We're going to be talking about what do you look for? How do you know when these things just don't add up? Oh, I know, because they're on the news. There's a big giveaway right there. Well, as soon as I bring you the sponsor message, we're going to start back in 2014. Oh, we're going all the way back to the miraculous survivals. Is that how you say it? They're miraculous survival stories, and they are stories of this husband and wife. That there are some things that really just don't add up here either. We're going to be taking a look at the current doctor that we're told is affected, Dr. Stafford. We're going to be looking at the names, the crazy connections, and of course, we're going to be looking at some of the actors. Oh, I'm sorry, some of the victims. That's what I meant to say. Oh, do you see what I see? Oh, yes, we're going to look at people that are so broken up, they can barely keep a straight face. Before we do any of that, let me thank the sponsor. Friends, I've been telling you about Noble Gold Investments because you've been asking me about it. And I always say, go to the website. I am not going to give you financial advice. That is not my area of expertise. But so many of you are wondering whether or not precious metals are right for you. So I want you to go and get your questions answered at noblegoldinvestments.com. You can download a free guide. And the message Noble Gold has is nobody has ever said, I wish I had waited longer to protect my savings. So I hope you're not waiting. If you have a 401k or you have an IRA, every day that you wait is a day that your retirement sits exposed to inflation, eating away at your purchasing power. And also the dollar that's losing ground against almost every hard asset in a market that can't run on borrowed time forever. So here's what most Americans don't know. It's simple and easy to protect your wealth, and you don't have to cash out taxes or take a penalty to do it when you're talking about your IRA. You can roll part of your existing retirement account. Did you hear that? Part of it. I'm not giving advice, but most smart people do diversify. And you can roll that into physical gold and silver. It's held in your name in an IRS approved vault. It's called a gold IRA. It takes minutes to start, and my friends at Noble Gold Investments specialize in this exactly. They've helped thousands of Americans take that first step. So all you need to do is go to noblegoldinvestments.com. You can get a phone call for free. You're going to speak to someone in the United States. It's a family run business. You don't want to be the one waiting around, wishing you had started sooner. And I also had, well, there is a bonus somewhere here for you, friends. I will let you know that you can you can qualify for a 1/10 ounce. I believe it is an American Eagle gold coin, or depending on what gold coins they have in stock. So get your questions answered by the experts, noblegoldinvestments.com. Friends, we are going to start way back in 2014. Raise your hand. Let me know in a comment, and I am going to check your comments. Let me know, because I love hearing reading your comments and hearing from you. Let me know if you remember this crazy story. Let me know if this was one of the incidents that actually helped you wake up. I titled this broadcast, The Only Thing You Really Need to Know, and we're going to dive right into the punchline. Well, actually, before we do, I want to know, do you see what I see? This is a picture. I think I have a bigger picture. Yeah. Look at those colors. We're going to be visiting those colors. I actually happen to like that color, but they seem to use it quite a bit in these psyops. Ebola survivor Nancy Wright Ebola. Isn't that how you pronounce it? Nancy Wright Ebola? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Can you? I believe it's spelled Ritebol. Oh, they forgot the A. I guess we can borrow it from the name Nancy. Nancy Wright Ebola of Sim. Anybody who's been around the internet knows that Sim stands for simulation, meaning it's not what you see. And that's the name of the so-called missionary outfit that she was working for. I believe I have a photo of that somewhere around. We're going to get to all of, oh, there, that was the bonus. We're going to get to all of this, friends. Here you go, Sim. And what is it? It's called, what is it called? Why is it called that? That's just the picture. Well, I don't know. It is service in ministry or something like that. So it is an evangelical mission agency. Now, friends, if you believe that every single agency, group, outfit, organization that uses the word Christian is something that you can trust, you might want to run that by the Holy Spirit. Just saying. So the internet, and including yours truly, found it very odd that the very first victim or patient, if you want to call, survivor of Ebola, which I had never heard of until 2014. And I remember my mom was alive at the time. I was visiting her. She had the TV on. This is on the news because I don't watch the news, don't really. I do now. I take a couple hits for the team so I can bring you this coverage, but I'm not a person that sits down in front of the news. I'll see what's going on, via YouTube or something. But this woman, Nancy Wright Ebola, because she got it right. I did a little search, and my research told me that less than 1,000 people in the entire world have that name, Wright Ebola. It just happens to be basically the same letters as the mystery illness called Ebola. This, my friends, is called a smoking gun. And for those of you that have been on board, I don't need to describe it to you. For those that are brand new and you're like, I want to get to the bottom of this. It sounds weird. It does sound weird because it is weird. And so what I look at are the names, and I look at the spelling, and I look at the victims or the witnesses, or in this case, the patients, the survivors. And I look to see if there's anything strange about their story, about what we're told, about what they look like, of all of those things. They're called clues. And very often, you only need one smoking gun to bring down the whole flimsy house of cards. And I remember saying to my mom, as this is blaring on the TV, I said, well, her name is spelled Ebol, just like Ebola. Obviously, they're mocking the public. They're rubbing your noses in it. They're ridiculing you. And I can't stand for people to have the wool pulled over their eyes. That's exactly why I do this. Trust me, I wish I was on a walk with my dog right now. I mean, I spend so much time researching this. And fast forward to right now, 2026, and this is the new doctor that we're told, Dr. Peter Stafford. Oh, like a staph infection? I'm not saying he's not a real person. I'm not saying that's not a real name. I'm saying it's very strange. And he works for an organization called, let's see, we're going to get to all of that, called Surge. Let me see where, okay, let me just go in order through the photos, friends. But that's the smoking gun. Her name is the same name as the disease. We're told that she works for an organization called SIM. They couldn't have come up with a different name. All right. You're going to say that's just a coincidence. Okay. Well, let me tell you a little story about her. Nancy and her husband, David, were working with, it's called Serving in Mission, just referring to my notes here, Serving in Mission during the West Africa Ebola epidemic. Now, here's what's weird. She was not a nurse. She was not a medical person at all. We're told that she was with this organization. And she began experiencing symptoms. She had a fever, she had a rash. They thought she had malaria. And then they gave her a blood test. PCR. What does that stand for? Piece of, oh, I got some frog in my throat. Speaking of frogs. So yeah, that would be a big NO that doesn't actually test for what they use it for. So then it turns out they isolated her. A lot of things that happened to this woman are what set the stage for COVID protocols. So she was isolated, she was quarantined. She went on some kind of antibody cocktail called ZMapp. And we're told that that was a tongue-in-cheek name for the biologic because the French doctor couldn't pronounce it correctly. And so he, instead of saying he was saying Z. And instead of saying another word, he was mispronouncing it. I mean, they're ridiculing people. So then she was airlifted to the United States in a specialized aeromedical isolation pod. Oh, geez, sounds like our old friend. Where's friend here? Jake Rosemarin in his biocontainment unit. Time of his life. Actually, she went to the virus containment unit in Atlanta, Georgia. That's where the CDC is. And so they said that she had a miraculous recovery. She didn't know how she contracted it. She believes that there was a coworker, but of course, because of strict medical privacy laws, no one will tell us how she got it. And apparently, this was before the healthcare workers had to wear standard surgical masks and all of that. And that's where now, after this Ebola in 2014, the CDC came out with very strict protocol where you had to have absolute skin coverage. You had to wear full body, fluid impermeable Tyvek coveralls, kind of like what we're seeing here. Let's see. And that came out of this event, this incident, this, I'll just call it fake phony incident. Contact tracing came out of the 2014 incident. And of course, the high-speed desire to get vaccines going. But what's weird is we are told that she doesn't know how she got it. They think that she got it from a coworker. The name was never released for his privacy. Yeah, of course. So that's all you really need to know is that her name is spelled the name as the fake phony disease. Now we fast forward to 2016. So it's called incrementalism. They set that so that people would be upset again. They would remember all these images. And this fellow working for the Surge organization, because, the virus is surging, could totally be just a coincidence. But back in 2014, it was all in the news. Oh, there was another guy. There was another victim patient. And this was him, Dr. Rick Sacra, like sacrilegious, sacra. And we're told that he lives in Liberia, but he actually spends most of the time in Massachusetts, where he really works. He's just yucking it up, just was in isolation. And I'm not even going to, I was going to play the video. It's like, I'm not even going to expose you to it. You can just see on the duper delights faces. Now, this is the current fellow. And here is news at 9. I just grabbed this today. Look at the time, 9:06. And do you see what I see? I've got videos about the signs and symbols. So here they are interviewing this doctor who's in Spain, and he's not the one getting the treatment, but he's talking about that Dr. Stafford. And you can see he's so broken up. Again, I was going to play the video. I'm not even going to play it. It's why be exposed to the sea of evil? It's the duper's delight. You know that they are all in on it. Peggy, why would they all be in on it? Oh, I don't know. contact tracing, taking away your freedoms. They're going to make money. They actually believe in what they're doing. They believe in vaccines. They want more money for these organizations. Let me get that out of here. They want to get money for their organizations like this. Just a few. You tell me why you think they do it. Evil comes to mind. All right. So we were told that this doctor here, this Stafford, now we're in the current day. I'm going to go back in time in a moment, but we're told that he got infected during surgery. And I'm like, how many doctors get infected during surgery? That's kind of weird. So my research showed that doctors getting infected by a patient during surgery is exceptionally rare because of the PPE. And remember, are wearing masks. They are taking precautions. They wash their hands. And here we've got hepatitis transmission. There's a percentage for hepatitis B, which, as we know, I need to give you the caveat that all of this is theoretical. Yes, there is disease. Yes, there are people that have symptoms. Yes, there is illness. The question is it contagious? It's a theory. But that's the only way they can control you. They can't control you if you have a headache. Are they going to tell us that headaches are contagious? I mean, it's ridiculous. So take that caveat. I'm just telling you that even if we play in their playground of infectious disease, the risk of infection is extremely low during surgery. They do their surgical hand scrubbing. The patients are bathed. They don't have any razors. There are antibiotics that are given to the patient. There are so many things that they do during the surgery, the PPE, the airflow management, the way that they pass the instruments, the creating the sterile field. Let me know if you're in medical care. How many doctors or nurses do you know that got infected with a virus while they were performing surgery, like this poor fellow, we're told? And apparently the spouse is also a doctor. So I got to tell you, I got to show you this, friends. Let's take a quick little break before we go back, because this meme is so brilliant. I did a whole video for you yesterday about the funny memes to kind of poke fun, because I believe that's one way that's an action that we can take, is we can turn the table on the tyrants. They're trying to mock us. Well, we can laugh at them. We can show and expose that the emperor has no clothes. So this amazing cartoon comes from a healthy American who subscribes to my Substack. And you can go to her Substack. It's called Anne Can't Stand It. I love that. I am subscribed as well. I'm a paid subscriber to her Substack, and it is totally worth it. She sends out a very on target cartoon every week. Here it is. Anne Can't Stand It. So I would love for, I'll put a link in the description box at the end of this video. And this is just so on point. Ain't a virus, as I call it, extraordinarily rare, but can be fatal. Same players, same script, same scarf lady. Test, 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 trace, trace, trace. Friends, all of that came from Ebola in 2014. A handful of cases, but 100,000 news articles in just a few days. We are not the rats you need to worry about. The media pumping up the fear, and the big pharma saying, surprise, vaccines and gene therapies already in the works. You might die laughing. This is brilliant. And I applaud Anne for her talent, for her wittiness, for her intelligence, for her ability to read between the lines and to poke fun. I remember asking a healthy American, how did you break through when she came from a communist country? How did you break through all of the communism? And she said, through ridicule, through turning the mocking back on the, I call them public servants, because they can't stand it. They can't stand to be outed. That is why I do this. So this is just these things jump out at me. Let me know. I have a feeling it's the same for you, that these things just jump off the page. A lot of people don't see it. because they're mesmerized, they're hypnotized by the media. And that's why I do these snarky things to kind of snap people out of it so that they're not lulled into complacency. So my number one thing on my list of whether I believe it or not is it gaining the headlines in the news? That makes me skeptical. Are there weird names, weird spelling, weird coincidences that can't just be brushed away? Let's go back in time now and notice the colors. Notice the colors. Again, I love this color. You probably see me wear it, but I'm not on the national news, and these people are. These colors are intended to give you a subconscious connection because it's an emotional response, and you'll see it again and again. So look at the colors, that green, yellow, red. Blue kind of is secondary. But what I thought's interesting is definitely the green, the yellow, and the red. This is what we were told in 2014 that the virus looked like, the Ebola virus. Wait until I show you what we're being told these days. It looks like the it looks like the 405 freeway in Los Angeles. Okay, we took a look at that. We took a look at that. Oh, those colors just happen to be the colors in many of the African states have the same exact colors. Oh, dink. And all of the cartoons that are drawn that really are laughable all have the same color. There's that green, there's that yellow. And remember, in the COVID days, it was all purple and red to try to scare you. Those were all computer generalized images. Those were not real. This is a drawing because it's never been seen by the human eye. This is what we were told it looked like in 2014. You see the colors? Nice little color scheme, isn't it? I happen to like that color scheme. They sure like it too. And there's the red. Reminds me of the African flags. Yes, be afraid, be very, very afraid. What's interesting to me is how the Ebola structure has evolved. Oh, by the way, I had this conversation with my husband. For those of you that believe in evolution, which is also a theory, never been proven, there's adaptation, which is different than species changing from one to another, or a human being evolving from a virus, which is what we basically were told, that life started as viruses. Well, if evolution is supposed to be that people get stronger and they get better, then why are there viruses? Those would be evolved away. And we would evolve to be able to fight them off. You see, they can't have the argument both ways. Now we're told this is what the Ebola looks like. For those of my friends that have ever driven on any freeway in Southern California, I did a little editing magic. What about that? How do you like them apples? There's the Ebola virus in downtown Los Angeles. They just don't even have any creativity. Come on, get some better script writers at least. I guess they're all on strike. Yeah, there's some more strands of the virus. Looks like the freeway. The freeway will probably kill you before the Ebola does. And here again are the cartoons, because that's all they have. Our diagrams, friends, it's never been proven to exist. None of this. Well, Peggy, people get sick, and I've gotten sick. I know, and I'm sorry that you have. And there are many reasons for that. Perhaps prior injections, perhaps poisons in the air, toxins in the water. What kind of food are you eating? Are you smoking cigarettes? Are you getting a good night's sleep? Do you have a positive outlook? There are so many things that make us feel poorly. Yeah, but my husband got it, and then I got it, and then our kids got it. Well, are you all exposed to the same water? Are you all drinking the same water? Are you exposed to the same air? Are you exposed to the same fragrances in your dryer sheets that are highly toxic? There are so many reasons. I will definitely replay Why Do People Get Sick from my friend and Dr. Sam Bailey. Here's the colors again. So just to go back to say, these are drawings because that's all they have. They'll tell you that it can only be seen under an electron microscope, and the pictures never look like this. It's kind of like what we see from, how do they call it? What's the term? Outer space. Oh, yes, those are all computer generated images, and NASA admits it. I've done videos on that as well. There's the colors, there's the colors, there's the colors. This is 2014. They planted it. There's the green, there's the yellow. And it's not that I cherry pick these images, just do a search and you'll see it yourself. Yep, type in 2014. I'm trying to figure out the colors for 2016. Now, this is interesting because now we're coming full circle. Here's the green and the purple. This was 2014. And here's the green and the purple for the antivirus. And there's the clown face that we're told is the antivirus. That's exactly what it looks like. One of my Healthy Americans counted up all those little things and said, Peggy, there's 33 of them. Like, I bet there are. And those are all significant numbers. I've done a number of videos on signs and symbols, and that is a way that they hide their intent. And here's the Hondian. It kind of has a weird sounding name anyway. And here's the purple and the green. Even the newscaster, the spellcaster, had these kind of colors in the studio. And even these colors, the color lights, reminded me of the color lights on the trip, on the cruise, which, by the way, is not a cruise. It was an expedition and the ship was empty. I've got a handful of videos for you, friends. Don't stop watching at the end of this video. Trump himself was wearing purple on the day that this story was gaining traction in the headlines. Here is more evidence of the Illuminati symbolism and the colors. So I think that's interesting that the colors are coming around. The simulation, we're told that's where Nancy Wright Ebola worked. And here's the other one, Sergio Mendez. Isn't that, I don't know why that name came to mind, but that is where this fellow, we're told, he works. So yeah, they'll probably get a lot of donations. And friends, there are a lot of people that need donations. And I would pray about where you send your money. Please do not send me a penny. God provides. I'm grateful for all y'all that have supported me all these years. Please use that money for your groceries, your needs. God provides. And I would think very carefully about supporting any of these organizations until you really know more about them. The CDC says that they are monitoring the disease, and it's interesting. They're calling it Ebola disease. Huh. Are they trying to get away from the word virus? I just noticed that. Disease. Huh. Hey, I just noticed this. Or am I late to the game here? Ebola bundigabuigoyo. That's exactly how you pronounce it. Disease. They're not even calling it a virus. I guess the V word is not getting a lot of good press. The PR in the V word is pretty darn bad. Let me find out where we are here, friends. So grateful to have all y'all on board. Let's see. Oh, we got lots of good lots of good comments here. Looks like a parasite. Rhonda said, I saw a meme today. They had a roundabout on the 91 freeway taking you back from Orange County. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the freeways in LA and Orange County are pretty wild. My mom, Carrie says, okay, my mom cared for 2 patients in the hospital with Ebola before 2011. It was no big deal. Basic precautions. It was too hard to catch a deadly illness. And I'm so curious. Oh, it's Carrie. I'm so curious, Carrie, how they knew it was Ebola, because the way that they for it is with a test that it's like testing us for red blood cells. It can find any particle. It's like going through your trash and finding a tiny, tiny, tiny little piece of plastic and then extrapolating that to say that, I don't know, you had something that you bought at McDonald's that was wrapped in plastic. Just thinking off the top of my head. These particles are too small to draw any logical conclusion. And any research you do will back that up. So Kim says she vaguely remembers that story, was just waking up, asking questions all the time, had no idea about the fake news. You know, Kim, I want to applaud you. You are exactly the type of healthy American I love to have on board. Board, not a virus ship like the Hondius. It kind of sounds like hantavirus anyway, doesn't it? Hondius, hantavirus. So Kim and people like Kim that were waking up or just started learning about things like this, didn't know about the fake news. This is awesome that you're developing and have developed your critical thinking skills. And what I love about your comment is you said, I was just waking up and asking questions at this time. Bravo. That's all I ask is ask without accepting. People, so many people, I think fewer these days, just accept things without asking. It's easier to keep your head in the sand. It's not as fun. I think this is kind of fun. It is easier for people, for some just want to be told what to do. So I don't really want to talk about this anymore. I don't really want to talk about the antivirus anymore, but I thought this was so funny and I wanted to poke fun at it. And anybody that wants to talk about this, just say, isn't it weird that the first person who got this, her name has the word Ebola in it? Did you find that strange? Ask questions. That's one of the best ways to get the conversations going. And you know what, friends? Don't cast your pearls before swine. Some people don't care. They're not asking for the lifeboat. They're out there drowning. They don't want your help. The people that are out there going, hey, this doesn't make sense. Help me. They're the ones, throw them the life preserver and help them out. I love this comment. Underwater man. People have been traveling from Africa for over 100 years. We have had no Ebola in this country. Yeah, it is. A lot of people just accept what is told. And Underwater Man also says, I believe this is the WHO's plan to extract cash from Trump. That is so interesting because Trump has extracted the United States from the WHO. He can do that as an executive order, which means the next president can get us back in. I think it needs to be done with a congressional action so it actually becomes law. And friends, I know that I do kind of flip my lid and I know that I get snarky and I know not everybody cares for my humor and, you know, that's fine. They don't need to be on board then. But I do this to kind of rock the boat, to kind of get people to go, whoa, I hadn't thought of it that way. And there are things that I miss as well. We can't see everything I certainly can't cover every story. There's so much fake news out there. Everything that pops up, I just do a quick search and I might just do a roundup for you in a couple of days. I'm going to round up a couple of weird things and just do a couple of quick hits. Like, look at this, look at this, look at this. How weird that all these people are laughing at a murder trial. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. Or these people's names don't add up. So I look at the names, I look at the colors, I look at the signs and the symbols. I look at what is the hidden agenda and what they wanted out of this in 2014. They wanted the protocols. They wanted the contact tracing. They wanted the PPE. They wanted you to wear a mask and they put all those protocols in place. So they work on incrementalism. So they might let this fade and fizzle and trot it out a couple more years from now. And we have to keep standing up and turning the tables is how I say it, and laugh about it because it is laughable. All right, friends, for those of you that are asking, and for those of you that are telling me about your experience, I just wanted to remind you, youthserum.com. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I have a whole story for you about we are sold out of the gift set. Sorry to say, I have something else coming for you very shortly, but you can buy individuals. And I have a whole story about my skin and why my skin looks better now, a couple of decades later than it did when I was in my 40s. I created my own organic, handcrafted botanical infusion. And so many of you asked me about it. I brought it back. I've had many early customers that are actually coming back for their second and third bottle. And so I bundled those together for a savings for those of you that are asking. And there are tons of success stories if you're interested. So thank you, everybody. If you'd like to support me, this is the best way to do it. Please, as I say, you don't need to send donations. The Lord is providing. You've supported me all these years. If you would like to, this is a great way of doing it. I thank you. And I'll be back with you tomorrow. And we're going to continue to break down, what do you look for when you are looking at the PSYOPs? We'll have a checklist together, and that's something that we can refer to and refine our critical thinking skills without getting stuck in these ridiculous headlines. Big thank you to all the moderators, and I'll look forward to seeing you in the next broadcast.